I'll never forget the day I decided to go out for the football team. Mr. Banks, the JV football coach and my history teacher, asked me to stay after class. I thought I was in trouble. He said, "Hey, Darius, have you thought about going out for football? I think you'd be great." Fact is, I never played football. Fact is, I never had anyone tell me I'd be great at something. So, with no experience at all, I signed up. And a week later, I padded up and was running drills on the field. I never was great, but playing high school sports was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I was accepted by my teammates, and I learned that when someone believes in you, you can believe in yourself.
Encourage a student you know to take part in a high school sport. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Life is full of important stories. Your home, your family, your dreams, they're all chapters in your unique journey. At the Ashlynn Kelso team at Thrive Mortgage, they understand this. Ashlynn, a full-time loan officer, full-time mom, and 100% committed to her clients, is passionate about being a part of your story. Each potential homeowner has a unique story, and the Ashlynn Kelso team is here to help you write yours. It's their commitment, their dedication that sets them apart in the world of home loans. Explore more at AshlynKelsoTeam.com and begin your journey towards home ownership. That's AshlynKelsoTeam.com, NMLS number 1074888. For over 3 decades, Georgetown has relied on the craftsmanship and expertise of Brennan Remodeling for all their major renovation and addition needs. Since 1988, our neighbors have trusted Brennan to transform their homes into their dream spaces. They're not only dedicated to enhancing homes, but also to building stronger community ties. Brennan Remodeling proudly supports the Georgetown Lady Eagles softball team, showing their commitment to local talent and spirit. To start your home transformation journey today, email Brennan Remodeling at brennanremodel@gmail.com. Let Brennan bring your home vision to life. Welcome to D&L Printing, your one-stop shop in Georgetown for all your printing needs. From business cards to banners, brochures to yard signs, we've got you covered. Need to reach your customers? Try our professional flyer and postcard printing services. For something more noticeable, try our eye-catching vehicle magnets. Check out our convenient online services at dlprint.com. And remember, we're proud supporters of Georgetown Lady Eagles softball. D&L Printing, making your business stand out. Online at dlprint.com. From routine checkups to urgent care, Zoot Pet Hospital and Luxury Boarding is dedicated to your pet's well-being. Their team of highly trained vets provides comprehensive medical services, ensuring your pet's health is their top priority. In unexpected situations, you can count on their immediate and professional emergency assistance. Zoot believes in more than just health. They believe in happiness. That's why they offer quality boarding and doggy daycare services designed with your pet's fun in mind. Discover the Zoot difference, where pets live their best lives. You can learn more about the services online at ZootPets.com. Zoot, proud to support the Georgetown Lady Eagles.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a nonprofit, faith-based Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addiction. Oak Ridge is committed to serving and helping men who are truly ready to surrender and want to change their lives for the better. Oak Ridge wants to be a part of God's work in restoring lives and family relationships. There is light at the end of the tunnel. That light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit them online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to SHN Sports presentation of Georgetown Lady Eagles softball. We're live here at Mumford High School, an audio-only broadcast for you tonight. As if you want to watch it online, it's covered by another media outlet that was awarded the rights, so we'll bring it audio only, but we'll bring you pitch-by-pitch action between your Georgetown Lady Eagles and the Lake Creek Lions. Lake Creek comes in as the home team here in this best-of-3 series here in the regional finals. And home team in game number 1, they'll be in the gray uniforms with the navy blue visors. The Georgetown Lady Eagles out of the first base dugout in the navy blue uniforms with Georgetown blue numbers, and Georgetown in blue emblazoned in capital block print lettering across the front of them with the Georgetown blue visors. They will be the visitors here in game number 1, brought to you live on SHN. Tomorrow night, Rob Hipp will be back with you to bring you game 2 and 3 if needed. Game 2 will begin at 6 p.m. live from Mumford High School here tomorrow, and Game 3, 30 minutes thereafter, scheduled at 8 p.m. if necessary between these two teams. This is the setup that everyone wants to watch. You talk about top teams in the state. You talk about a top team in the nation. Both of these teams qualify for that. The Lake Creek Lady Lions come in number 1 team in the nation. You look at Max Preps and the nation rankings for high school softball. Georgetown comes in ranked 25th. They're in the top 25, and the Lake Creek Lady Lions are ranked number 1. They are on an 82-game win streak. Over the last 3 seasons. They went and won the championship last year. They beat Georgetown in the state title game 7-0 last year, and they are poised to make another run as they sit at 40-0 on the year as they come in here to this matchup with your Georgetown Eagles. But don't shy away from the Georgetown Eagles just yet. The Lady Eagles coming to the ball game 37-4 on the year. They ran through District 23 undefeated at 14-0. And as they come in here to this regional final, this is a matchup. If you ever had a matchup where a school and a team wanted revenge, they wanted to avenge a loss, that's it. Georgetown has every desire out there to beat this Lady Lion team from Lake Creek High School and be the spoiler. They are undefeated on the year. They ran through the season last year undefeated. And so this battle here will be for the right to go to the state tournament, one of the final 4 teams. And so this year, due to the changes in districts, they crash here in the regional finals, and that's where the showdown will begin. Georgetown, the visitors tonight, out of the first base dugout being introduced right now, and the Lake Creek Lady Lions out of the third base dugout. Here at Mumford High School, the Lady Mustang softball program has a beautiful complex, nice covered bleachers with their press box and an all-field turf playing surface, 200 feet down the lines, 200 feet to dead straight center field in this all-turf complex. Green turf around the outfield and the foul territories. The infield, home plate, and the circle are all in the dirt red colored field turf for this matchup. The national United States American flag and the state flag hanging outside of left center field as the fans cheer for the Georgetown Lady Eagles being introduced. The starting lineup for your Georgetown Lady Eagles visitors here in game number 1 will go this way, as selected by head coach Melissa Hall, her assistant coaches Lacey Blissett, and assistant coach Peter Stagman. Leading it off, playing shortstop, number 23, Isa Torres. Batting second and playing second base, number 32, Samantha Swan. Hitting third, the left fielder, number 30, Macy McClellan. Batting fourth, playing third base, number 13, Maddie Hartley. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 17, Kennedy Miller. Batting sixth, the center fielder, number 27, Rainey Coons. Batting seventh, the designated player, number 2, Isabel Cree. Batting eighth, the first baseman, number 34, Jordan Credor. And batting ninth, the right fielder, number 3, Kenley Ball. So it'll be Torres, Swan, McClellan in the top third, Hartley, Miller, and Coons in the middle third, Cree, Credor, and Ball in the bottom third for your Georgetown Lady Eagles. In the circle tonight for the Lady Eagles to start it out will be number 24, that's Cambry Krager. She will start out in the circle for your Georgetown Eagles. The starting lineup for the Lake Creek Lady Lions, they are coached by head coach Michelle Rachinsky, assistant coaches Candace Carter and Shauna Hazelwood. Starting off for the Lake Creek Lions, batting first, the shortstop, number 2, Maddie McKee. Batting second, the center fielder, number 1, Carmen Uribe. Batting third, the pitcher, number 22, Ava Brown. Batting fourth, the second baseman, number 14, Madeline Davis. Batting fifth, the designated player, number 3, Peyton Bauer. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 23, Kaylee Rachinsky. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 8, Shelby Wynn. Batting eighth, the first baseman, number 9, Allison Higginbotham. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 12, Piper White. So it'll be McKee, Uribe, and Brown, Davis, Bauer, Rachinsky, Wynn, Higginbotham, and White for the Lady Lions from Lake Creek High School. They come out of district number 21, where they went undefeated as well in district play, 14-0, 40-0 overall in the year. Head-to-head between these two teams, Lake Creek leads the all-time series 2-0, one being the state championship game last June 4th 7-0 win to win the state title, and now this year they played back on March 2nd, and the Lady Lions were victorious 10-4. The Lady Lions' path to the regional finals in this matchup in the by-district round. They beat the Colleen Shoemaker, the fourth-place finisher at a District 22 in a 3-game series. They won it 2-0, 12-0, and 11-1 were the finals. They moved on to the area round where they eliminated your Elgin Wildcats out of District 23. Here at Mumford, they beat them in a 1-game playoff, 11-0. In the regional quarterfinals, the Lions took on the Pflugerville Panthers out of District 23. In a 1-game best series, winner takes all here at Mumford High School, and the Lake Creek Lady Lions won that one 9-0. In the semifinals of the regions for Lake Creek, they faced off against Barbers Hill at Grand Oaks High School and won it 5-3 and 1-0 to advance to this point. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll have the national anthem. When we come back, we'll get ready to play softball. You're listening to Lady Eagle Softball on SHN. Back here live, Mumford High School for game number 1 in the regional finals between your Georgetown Lady Eagles and the Lake Creek Lady Lions. The Lady Eagles' path into this point in the season started this way through the playoffs. In by-district, they had a 1-game playoff against Austin Eastside Memorial High School out of District 24. Georgetown won that one 12-1 to advance to the area round, and where they took on Magnolia High School, the third-place team out of District 21. They played a 1-game series at Caldwell High School back on May 5th. Georgetown won that ball game 11-1 to advance to the regional quarterfinals, where the Lady Eagles took on the College Station Cougars there at Caldwell High School in the best-of-3 series. And on the May 11th and May 12th, Georgetown won those 2 ball games 2-0 in Game 1, 4-1 in Game 2 to take a 2-0 win in that series. And then they went to the semifinals where they beat the Santa Fe Indians in a 2-game sweep, 2-1 and 7-0. In steps Issa Torres. She'll lead things off for your Georgetown Eagles. Here in the top of the first inning, Ava Brown gets the sign in the circle at the first pitch of the ball game. And Torres takes it for a ball, 1-0 the count. To Issa Torres, the shortstop for the Eagles. A senior here for Georgetown. She leads it off back in from the left side as Ava Brown looks over and gets the call from the dugout. The 1-0 pitch. Misses outside, ball 2, 2-0 the count. To Issa Torres as she leads off things here in the top of the first for the Lady Eagles. Set the defense for the Lady Lions here in just a second. Ava Brown gets the sign and delivers the 2-0 pitch. And a ball fouled back Out of play. 2-1 now the count to Torres. Defensively for the Lions, White in left field, Uribe in center, Wynn in right field. Over at third base is Thornburg. McKee at shortstop, Davis at second base, Higginbotham at first base. Behind the plate is Rachinski, and in the circle, is Ava Brown. The 2-1 pitch, and Torres will foul this one off down the third baseline out of play. And the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter for the Lady Eagles. Issa Torres, Samantha Swan, Macy McClellan due up here in the top of the first for the Lady Eagles here in the regional finals. The winner of this series goes on to the state tournament. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball hit out towards short. Lay out by the shortstop. She comes up from the knee, fires the first, but not in time. And an infield single for Issa Torres. Nice play there by McKee as she laid out. Got up to a knee and threw the ball across to first base. Kind of comes up limping there at shortstop. But Issa Torres quickly out of the box, beats it down to first base, and the Eagles have a leadoff single on the infield base hit by Issa Torres. Now will step in the second baseman, number 32, Samantha Swan. Now they'll take a second here and check on the shortstop, McKee, as she's trying to walk this off. As she laid out and hit the ground hard, gloving it into the hole, and then coming up from her knees and firing across the diamond, but not in time to get Issa Torres. So a leadoff base runner for the Eagles here in the top of the first. And in steps Samantha Swan. Swan steps in for the right side. Brown gets the sign. Brown, the right-handed pitcher, gets set. The first pitch to Swan. And a ground ball to third. Quickly fielded throw to second base. Bang, bang play, and they're going to call her out at second base. So Issa Torres cut down there, and that'll be 5-4 on the putout. Close play there as the second baseman waited late to find that one, to step on the bag to get the out. So Swan reaches first for on the fielder's choice. And that'll bring up the left fielder, number 30, Macy McClellan. She'll step in from the right side. Nice play there by Thornburg at third base as she was playing in front of the bag about 5 feet. Maybe expecting the bunt there and fielded it on a one hop. Made the throw over to Davis at second base for the lead out. First pitch. Throw down back behind Swan, and not in time. She gets back to first base. 0-1 to count to McClellan. One out here in the top of the first. McClellan back in from the right side. Ava Brown looks over. Now McClellan will take a timeout, step out of the box, and reset. Brown gets the sign, the 0-1 pitch. Fakes the bunt, pulls it back. Throw down to first base, and it gets into right field. Should have been player interference there, but they're not going to call it. The right fielder backing up as Swan returned to the bag and was taken down by Davis. A 1-1 to count to McClellan. The runner Sam Swan down at first base with one out here in the top of the first. Beautiful crowd here tonight for both schools, Lake Creek and Georgetown, to fill the stands. The 1-1 pitch. McClellan bunts it down the first baseline. It's going to be fielded by the first baseman. The throw to first base, off the glove. Swan around second. She'll head to third, and that'll be an error by the second baseman on Davis. The ball hit her in the glove, and she didn't close it in time. It went away and squirted over towards second base. And now Georgetown with one out has runners on the corners here in the top of the first. A beautiful bunt there by McClellan, and she gets down to first base, in part from the error on the second baseman. So it'll be E4 there. And now the Eagles will bring up number 13, the number 4 hitter, number 13, third baseman Maddie Hartley. If you remember correctly, in game number 2 against Santa Fe last week, Hartley opened up the scoring with a 3-run home run. And Georgetown went on to win that game 2 in the series 7-0. Hartley steps in here with runners on the corners and one out. Brown gets the sign and delivers the first pitch to Hartley. Hartley takes it for a called strike as McClellan will cruise into second base with a stolen base. No throw there. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Georgetown with one out here in the top of the first. No balls, 1 strike to the number 4 hitter, Maddie Hartley. On deck is Kennedy Miller for the Eagles. Hartley, the junior third baseman, steps back in. And now the 0-1 pitch. The bunt down the first baseline. Swan's going to hold off. Now going to get into a rundown. They'll run her back to third. She ducks out from the tag, but they'll call her out of the baseline. And now a throw back behind at second base. And McClellan had drifted too far off the bag, and she's thrown out there. And now a player down for the Lions as that collision happened right on top of the bag. So we'll take a quick break while they check on the player, come back and figure out what all's going on. Georgetown Lady Eagles softball continues after this on SHN.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a nonprofit, faith-based Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addiction. Oak Ridge is committed to serving and helping men who are truly ready to surrender and want to change their lives for the better. Oak Ridge wants to be a part of God's work in restoring lives and family relationships. There is light at the end of the tunnel. That light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit them online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
Back here live at Mumford High School. So the top of the first comes to a close. And we'll try to make sense of all of this. Sam Swan was called out of the baseline, getting caught in the rundown between third and home on the bunt by Maddie Hartley. Hartley gets to first base. They call Swan out for out number 2. After that, the catcher still had possession of the ball, throws back behind the runner McClellan at second base, and I believe to the center fielder who was covering in Uribe. And Uribe catches it and applies the tag as McClellan tried to slide back in. They collided. The out was called. The inning ends, and now the player for Lake Creek has been attended to and now been helped off the field. She walked off under her own power, so we'll doubly check and make sure she's okay and who that was to see if it was Uribe. She's the number 2 hitter in the lineup, so we'll see if there's any change to start it off. But the Eagles' top of the first comes to an end. No runs on one hit, no errors, one runner left on. And we go to the bottom of the first as Cambry Krager will come on to pitch for the Lady Eagles to start things off here in the bottom of the first and face off against Maddie McKee, the shortstop. McKee will step in here to lead off the bottom of the first for the Lake Creek Lady Lions. So the Lady Eagles had runners at first and third with one out and can't capitalize on that one. And so we go to the bottom of the first. 0-0 still your score as Maddie McKee steps in here. The shortstop, number 2 from the left side to lead things off for Lake Creek. Krager gets to sign the first pitch to McKee by Krager is underway. In there. Nope, misses. I heard yep, but that was not a strike. That was ball 1. 1-0 the count to Maddie McKee. Defensively for your Eagles, McClellan in left field, Coons in center, Ball in right field. Set the infield here in a second after the 1-0 pitch from Krager. A swing and a miss, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Maddie McKee. Defensively for the Eagles on the infield, Hartley at third, Torres at short, Swan at second, Credor at first. Behind the plate, Kennedy Miller, and on in the circle is Cambry Krager. The 1-1 pitch just misses for ball 2, 2-1 to count. To Maddie McKee, the leadoff hitter for the Lake Creek Lady Lions here in the bottom of the first. Krager, the 2-1 pitch. Ground ball hit out towards short. Torres fields it, the throw across in time, but it's going to drop off the glove of Credor. So that'll be an error for the Georgetown Lady Eagles as McKee reaches first base. So now we have number 10 hitting. So it will be a pinch hitter for Uribe. And number 10 will be Gracie Brewer. A freshman will step in from the left side and hit the number 2 slot here for Uribe. In the bottom of the first pitch from Krager is in there for a called strike. No balls, 1 strike to Brewer. Brewer will step back in from the left side. The 0-1 pitch, bunt attempt, and missed. 0-2 the count now. To Gracie Brewer, the pinch hitter, here for the number 2 hitter, Carmen Uribe. So it was Uribe. They got tangled up in the collision at second base and has left the ball game. We'll see if she comes back defensively. The 0-2 pitch from Krager. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And out number 1 on the strikeout by Krager of Gracie Brewer. And that'll bring up the number 3 hitter. That's the pitcher, number 22, Ava Brown. First strikeout for Krager. And now Ava Brown will step in from the right side with 1 out and the runner at first base. Maddie McKee reached on an error. The ball came from Torres to Credor, but it was dropped. First pitch just misses for ball 1. Madeline Davis on deck for the Lions. Here in the bottom of the first, 1 out and a runner at first base. Ava Brown steps back in. Krager gets the sign. The 1-0 pitch. In there. For a called strike. 1-1 the count. To the number 3 hitter, Ava Brown, also the pitcher for the Lake Creek Lady Lions. Here in Mumford, Texas. Home of the Lady Mustangs. The beautiful all-turf field. As Krager gets the sign, the 1-1 pitch. In there for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count now to Ava Brown. The stands are pretty full here in Mumford, and a lot of parents and fans sitting along the backstop wall, half wall back behind home plate. Krager gets the sign, the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball hit towards second. Swan, she'll tag the runner, knocks her glove out, throws the first, bang, bang, play, and the Eagles turn a double play and get out of the inning. What a play by Sam Swan. She tags the runner, McKay, who knocks her glove off, and Swan throws the first to Credor in time to get Ava Brown on the 4-3 double play, and the Eagles get out of the bottom of the first unharmed. After 1 complete inning, no runs on no hits, 1 error, and no runners left on. After 1 complete, Georgetown 0, Lake Creek 0. Lady Eagle softball continues on SHN after this.
From routine checkups to urgent care, Zoot Pet Hospital and Luxury Boarding is dedicated to your pet's well-being. Their team of highly trained vets provides comprehensive medical services, ensuring your pet's health is their top priority. In unexpected situations, you can count on their immediate and professional emergency assistance. Zoot believes in more than just health. They believe in happiness. That's why they offer quality boarding and doggy daycare services designed with your pet's fun in mind. Discover the Zoot difference, where pets live their best lives. You can learn more about the services online at zootpets.com. Zoot, proud to support the Georgetown Lady Eagles.
And we're back here at Mumford High School. And now there is a defensive change. Uribe is out of the ball game. Gracie Brewer stays in and goes to left field for the Lions. And White, the left fielder, moves to center field to take over defensively. The first pitch to Kennedy Miller. Misses for ball 1. Kennedy Miller, the number 5 hitter, leads it off here at the top of the second for Georgetown. 5, 6, and 7 due up. Rainey Coons, Isabel Cree follow her here in the top of the second. Ava Brown threw 11 pitches in the top of the first. Gets the sign and delivers the 1-0 pitch to Kennedy Miller. Miller fouls it off back to the backstop. 1-1 now the count to the senior catcher, number 17, Kennedy Miller. Bats from the right side. Leads things off here in the top of the second for Georgetown. Miller takes her time and now settles back in from the right side. Ava Brown looks over and gets the sign. Then looks at her wrist for the play sheet. Miller doesn't like to wait, steps out. Now, Ava Brown looks set to go. The 1-1 pitch. Miller takes it outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to Kennedy Miller, the senior catcher, leading things off for Georgetown here in the top of the second inning. And now a timeout call. Not sure what's going on. It's Ava Brown. As for another, I guess, a different type of Rosenbeck. Now 2 of them in the circle. 2 balls and 1 strike to Kennedy Miller. She leads off the top of the second for Georgetown. Brown gets the sign and delivers the 2-1 pitch. It's high, ball 3. 3-1 the count now to Kennedy Miller. A beautiful play there to end the first by Sam Swan as she tagged the runner between first and second and then threw out the hitter, Ava Brown, at first base for the unconventional double play to get Georgetown out of the inning. A good job defensively to capitalize after the error that opened up the inning. The 3-1 pitch is up high, ball 4, and a leadoff walk for Kennedy Miller. For the second inning in a row, the Georgetown Lady Eagles have the leadoff batter aboard to start the inning. So Miller will be down at first base as number 27, the center fielder, Rainey Coons, steps in for her first plate appearance. Coons, the sophomore center fielder, will step in from the right side as she got the sign from Coach Melissa Hall down at third base. Brown looks in for the sign. Gets her pitch, the first pitch to Coons. A swing and a miss, strike 1. 0-1 the count to Rainey Coons. Isabel Cree on deck for the Lady Eagles. No outs here in the top of the second. Kennedy Miller reached on a leadoff walk. The first walk issued by Ava Brown in the ballgame. Brown gets the sign and the 0-1 pitch. Square to bunt, popped up down the first baseline. Caught by the first baseman. The throw over to the second baseman, who was covering first, is off her glove into a shallow right field. But Kennedy Miller gets back to first base and stays put. So P3 in the book to retire Coons on the popped-up bunt attempt for out number 1. And that'll bring up the designated player, Isabel Cree. Cree will step in from the right side. She wears number 2. She's a sophomore. She'll step in here with 1 out and a runner at first base. Brown gets the sign, the first pitch to Cray. She'll square to bunt, drop it out down the first baseline. Great play attempt. They say it hit the ground. And Kennedy Miller, watching the umpire, heads down to second base. A great hustle play by the first baseman, Higginbotham. But it hit the turf, and the home plate umpire was right there watching it. And so a bunt single by Cray has runners on first and second for Georgetown with just 1 out. Second hit of the ball game for the Georgetown Lady Eagles, and that'll bring up number 34, Jordan Credor. Credor's first plate appearance as she steps in here has runners on first and second with 1 out. Miller down at second, Cree down at first. The first pitch and popped up to the shortstop. McKee will make the catch for out number 2, P6 in the book on that infield fly, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter for the Lady Eagles, the right fielder, number 3, Kinley Ball. Ball will step in from the left side. Kinley Ball, the right fielder, in right field for the Lady Eagles. Will step in here. Runners still at first and second with 2 outs now here in the top of the second inning. The first pitch from Brown. Squares the bunt, pops it up down the third baseline, but over the head of the third baseman, but the shortstop, McKee, is right there, fields it, and steps on third base to force Miller out at third. And the top of the second comes to an end. No runs on one hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on. After 1.5 innings, Georgetown 0, Lake Creek 0. More Lady Eagle softball after this on SHN.
Welcome to D&L Printing, your one-stop shop in Georgetown for all your printing needs. From business cards to banners, brochures to yard signs, we've got you covered. Need to reach your customers? Try our professional flyer and postcard printing services. For something more noticeable, try our eye-catching vehicle magnets. Check out our convenient online services at dlprint.com. And remember, we're proud supporters of Georgetown Lady Eagles softball. D&L Printing, making your business stand out. Online at dlprint.com.
Back here live, Mumford High School, as we go to the bottom of the second. Cambry Krager finishes her warm-ups here as Kennedy Miller gets the gear on and comes back out as she was on base. Reached on a leadoff walk there, but was forced out at third base to end the inning. Settles back behind the plate, and the throw down from Miller to end the warm-ups. Starting off in the bottom of the second for the Lady Lions will be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Madeline Davis, Peyton Bauer, and Kaylee Ruchinski. Madeline Davis, the second baseman, will step in from the left side to lead things off. Davis, the freshman second baseman, will step in here to lead off for the Lions in the bottom of the second. 11 pitches thrown by Krager in the first inning. Faced the minimum amount thanks to a beautiful double play by Sam Swan to get the Eagles out of the inning after a leadoff batter reached base on an error. Was cut down in the first part of the double play on the 4 unassisted as she tagged out the runner McKee and then threw to first base for the double play. The first pitch from Krager is just outside. Nope, it is a called strike. The delayed call. It looked good. 0-1 to count to the second baseman, Madeline Davis. Krager gets the sign, looks at the wristband. Now she'll step off. Davis will step out. Nice right to left wind across the outfield. Krager, the 0-1 pitch. In there on the inside corner for a called strike. 0-2 now the count to Madeline Davis. Krager ready, and the 0-2 pitch. Chopped foul back behind home plate. Davis stays alive. No balls and 2 strikes, leading off the bottom of the second here for the Lady Lions. The Lady Lions in the gray uniforms, navy blue pinstripes with the gold lettering outlined in navy blue. Lions in capital block print lettering above the numbers on the back of the uniforms. With the knee-high pants with the navy blue stirrups. Krager, the 0-2 pitch. Outside corner just misses for ball 1. 1-2 to count. Davis, the freshman second baseman, steps back in from the left side. 1 ball, 2 strikes as she leads off the bottom of the second here for Lake Creek. Krager gets the sign. Now she'll call time and step off. Krager ready to go. The 1-2 pitch to Davis. Where it missed will be the surprise for us. Looked like it caught the inside corner, but that'll be called ball 2. And now a 2-2 count to Madeline Davis as she steps back in from the left side. Kennedy Miller signing over to Coach Hall, and it was low. So just missing there. The 2-2 pitch now from Krager. Ball sent down the third base line, and it is foul as it hit about a ball width left of third base. Would have been a beautiful shot down into the left field corner. But instead, Davis returns to home plate. And will go back to bat with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. She battles here to lead things off in the bottom of the second. Lake Creek and Georgetown still scoreless. Krager gets ready. The 2-2 pitch. That one misses just low for ball 3, and it loads the count. To Madeline Davis. Krager gets ready. The payoff pitch. Slap foul over the on-deck batter towards the dugout, as Peyton Bauer did a good job of getting out of the way of that one. So the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. The next pitch will be the 9th of the at-bat. Krager only threw 11 pitches in inning number 1. 9 now on this next pitch to the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the second. The 3-2 pitch. Slap foul back to the backstop. And Davis stays alive in the at-bat. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs as Davis leads off the bottom of the second here for the Lake Creek Lions here in this regional final. Today's game, game 1. Tomorrow, game 2 at 6 p.m. Game 3 at 8 if necessary. Rob Hipp will be back on that call. The payoff pitch, ball hit into center field, and it'll be down in front of the center fielder, Coons. It's off her glove, and that'll allow Davis to scoot into second base. So it'll be a single and an error. And the leadoff batter is aboard for the Lady Lions again here in the second inning. So the second error of the ball game for the Lady Eagles. As the runner down at first base, or down at second base. A base hit with an error there as Coons went off of her glove. Not allowed. Davis to scoot into second base, and in steps Peyton Bauer, the designated player from the left side, number 3. Bauer is a senior. She waits for the first pitch from Krager. Bunt attempt, no. Throw down to third on the steal attempt, and Davis slides into the tag. A nice play there as Issa Torres was covering. Hartley came in, and Kennedy Miller throws her out at third base. And so the leadoff single and a second base on the error. And Coach Ruchinski is not happy. So an 0-1 count to Bauer, and now 1 out. The runner is cut down at third base on the caught stealing. Kennedy Miller to Torres, so that'll be 2-6 on the caught stealing for out number 1. A big out. Krager ready to deliver the 0-1 pitch. Just misses low for ball 1. 1-1 the count now to Peyton Bauer. So a costly base running mistake there for the Lions. Brings about the first down of the inning. Now the 1-1 pitch from Krager. Ground ball to third. Hartley will field it fair. She'll make the throw across the diamond, and it's down in the turf. And that'll be an error on Hartley as Credor tried to scoop it out but couldn't do it. So Peyton Bauer reaches first on the throwing error, E5. Third error of the ball game for the Lady Eagles. Hartley would have had her. A good throw, but it was down in the turf, and unable to scoop it was Credor. So now a 1-out base runner at first base. And in steps the catcher, Kaylee Ruchinski, number 23. She's a senior. She'll step in from the right side. The first pitch from Krager. Misses just low, ball 1. Peyton Bauer down at first base with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Reaches on an error. A 1-0 the count. To Ruchinski, the 1-0 pitch. It's in there for a called strike. A 1-1 the count to Ruchinski as she took that one for strike 1. Krager gets the sign. The 1-1 pitch. Up and away for ball 2. 2-1 now the count. To the catcher, Kaylee Rochinski. Shelby Wynn waits on deck for the Lions. Krager ready to go. The 2-1 pitch. And that will hit Rochinski. So now 2 base runners for the Lions as Bauer moves up to second base. Rochinski heads down to first on the hit by pitch. The first batter hit by Krager. So the Lions have 2 base runners with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. And in steps Shelby Wynn, the right fielder. The senior right fielder will step in from the right side. Runners on first and second, and now that caught stealing huge for the Lady Eagle defense. As now only 1 runners on first and second. As Kennedy Miller was able to throw out Madeline Davis trying to steal third. So Wynn will step in from the right side. Bauer down at second. Rochinski at first. Krager gets the sign. The first pitch to Wynn. Bunt out in front of the plate, fielded by the first baseman, Credor, over to first base to Sam Swan for out number 2 to record the out, but that'll move up both runners to second and third base in scoring position with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. So 3-4 on the putout of Wynn for out number 2. And here comes Allison Higginbotham, the first baseman, number 9. She's a junior. She'll step in from the right side. Now see if they're calling it a courtesy runner or a pinch runner for the catcher, Rochinski. Number 7, Addie Davis, the freshman, heads out to second base to run for the catcher. Looks like it's going to be a pinch runner for the catcher, Davis. Down at second base. So now 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Lake Creek has runners on second and third. In steps Allison Higginbotham, the first baseman, for her first plate appearance, the number 8 hitter in the Lion lineup. The Eagles just need an out here to get out of this inning without any runs given up. The first pitch from Krager. This one stays. Nope, it is across the belt on the rise ball. There's a called strike, 0-1 to count. Coach Rochinski there putting what you can only imagine as speed at second base for her catcher in case of a ball hit into the gap to try to get that second run across. Krager, the 0-1 pitch. Just misses outside for ball 1, 1-1 to count. To Allison Higginbotham. Piper White, the center fielder, on deck for the Lions. Krager gets the sign. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And now the Eagles just 1 strike away from getting out of trouble here in the bottom of the second. The Lions got the leadoff batter aboard on a single and an error that got her to second base, but then Davis was thrown out trying to steal third. And then an error by the third baseman Hartley and a hit by pitch. Ground ball hit out towards second. Swan fields it, flips over to Credor for out number 3. And the Eagles get out of trouble here in the bottom of the second. 4-3 on the putout to get Higginbotham for out number 3 and to retire the Lady Lions here in the bottom of the second. No runs on 1 hit, 2 errors, and 2 runners left on base. After 2 complete innings, Georgetown 0, Lake Creek 0. Lady Eagle softball continues after this on SHN.
Welcome to D&L Printing, your one-stop shop in Georgetown for all your printing needs. From business cards to banners, brochures to yard signs, we've got you covered. Need to reach your customers? Try our professional flyer and postcard printing services. For something more noticeable, try our eye-catching vehicle magnets. Check out our convenient online services at dlprint.com. And remember, we're proud supporters of Georgetown Lady Eagle softball. D&L Printing, making your business stand out. Online at dlprint.com.
And back here at Mumford High School, site of the regional finals between the Lake Creek Lady Lions and your Georgetown Lady Eagles. We go to the top of the third. The Eagles bring up the 1, 2, and 3 hitters. Issa Torres, Samantha Swan, and Macy McClellan. Torres steps in 1 for 1 on the day. Singled back in the first inning. Was cut down on a play at second base. First pitch here from Brown. A fly ball sent into left center field. It's back towards the wall and off the wall. And that'll put Torres into second base. A leadoff double for the Lady Eagles here in the top of the third inning. The center fielder White raced over for it, but could not make the play as it hits off the wall. And Issa Torres, for the third inning in a row, the Lady Eagles have the leadoff batter aboard to start the inning, and this one with a double by Torres. Third hit of the ball game for the Lady Eagles, and that'll bring up Sam Swan. She reached on a fielder's choice. Back in inning number 1, was left stranded. Bunted down the third baseline, but foul. 0-1 to count to Swan as she steps in here. 0 for 1 in the ball game. Ava Brown, 11 pitches in the first inning, 10 in the second. And she works her third inning here in game number 1 of this regional final. Game 1 here tonight. Game 2 tomorrow, 6 p.m. back here at Mumford High School. Game 3 is necessary. It'll be at 8 p.m. tomorrow night here at Mumford. Rob Hipp will be on the call tomorrow. Bunt attempt, Swan back behind home plate in foul territory. And so Torres will have to retreat back to second base. Swan back to the batter's box. No balls and 2 strikes to count now as the catcher Rochinski fielded it back behind home plate. So it's ruled a foul ball, and the count 0-2 now to Swan. Trying to get that lead, go-ahead run over to third base with only 1 out. Now the 0-2 pitch. Swan fouls it back. Out of play and stays alive in the at-bat. No balls and 2 strikes. No outs here in the top of the third. A leadoff double by Issa Torres. She's down at second base, and Swan does battle here. Trying to do her job and get the runner over to third base. Brown gets the sign, the 0-2 pitch. Swan ground ball out to short. Hopper fielded. Fake throw, and they're going to keep the runner at second base. No throw to first base. So Sam Swan will reach on another fielder's choice there. That's a shortstop. McKee held on to it. And now Georgetown has runners on first and second. And in steps Macy McClellan. She reached on an error by the second baseman. Back at inning number 1. Stole second base. Was left stranded there. Or she got gunned down at second base in that bang-bang play there. And so only 1 runner left on base for the inning was Hartley. So now Ava Brown works to her third hitter of the inning here in the top of the third with runners on first and second. And now they're going to move the first baseman, Higginbotham, in about 15 feet in front of first base, expecting the bunt here. And now Coach Hall gives the sign. McClellan steps in from the right side. As the first baseman, Higginbotham, now backs up about 5 feet from first base. Brown gets it, and now the first pitch to McClellan. She takes it high for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Macy McClellan, the left fielder. 0 for 1 in the ball game. Reached on an error back in inning number 1. Steps in here with runners on first and second and no outs in the top of the third. Brown gets the sign, the 1-0 pitch. McClellan popped back out of play. And the count 1-1 as that goes on to the baseball field back behind us. Ava Brown looks over, gets the sign from the third base dugout. The 1-1 pitch to McClellan. She'll square to bunt, pops it up down the first baseline, and it's fielded there by Higginbotham. So the runners have to stay put. P3 in the book. The second time the Eagles have popped up a bunt for an out. So now 1 out with the runners on second and third, and Maddie Hartley will step in. She's 0 for 1 in the ball game. She singled. She reached on a fielder's choice, was left stranded at first base. Back in inning number 1. Steps in here with runners at first and second. Torres at second base. Sam Swan at first base. Brown gets the sign, looks at the wristband, and now delivers the first pitch to Hartley. Down in the turf, low 0 for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Hartley. Here in the top of the third with runners on first and second and 1 out. Brown gets the sign, the 1-0 pitch. Hartley fouls it back out of play down the first baseline. The count evens out at 1 ball and 1 strike. On deck, Kennedy Miller, the catcher for the Eagles. The 1-1 pitch. Hartley fouls it back to the screen, and now 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to the third baseman, Maddie Hartley. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners at first and second. A leadoff double by Issa Torres. Sam Swan reached on a fielder's choice. 1 out here in the top of the third. Now Hartley's going to step out. Brown will get the sign. Look at the wristband. Now both will step out and reset. So Hartley steps out from the right side. Brown to the back of the circle. Grabs the rosin bag. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Hartley steps back in from the right side. The 1-2 pitch. Hartley ground ball chopped back down the third baseline. It's going to stay fair, and that's going to be an infield single. The home plate umpire was right there, and he called it fair when it was picked up by the third baseman, Thornburg. So now the base is loaded on an infield single by Maddie Hartley. Coach Raczynski is not happy. 4th hit of the ball game for the Lady Eagles has loaded the bases with 1 out here in the top of the third, and now we'll get a visit from the third base dugout for the Lady Lions. Quick timeout. More Lady Eagle softball after this on SHN.
I'll never forget the day I decided to go out for the football team. Mr. Banks, the JV football coach and my history teacher, asked me to stay after class. I thought I was in trouble. He said, "Hey, Darius, have you thought about going out for football? I think you'd be great." Fact is, I never played football. Fact is, I never had anyone tell me I'd be great at something. So, with no experience at all, I signed up. And a week later, I padded up and was running drills on the field. I never was great, but playing high school sports was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I was accepted by my teammates, and I learned that when someone believes in you, you can believe in yourself.
Encourage a student you know to take part in a high school sport. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Back here live, Mumford High School. The visit is over. Ava Brown steps in to face off against Kennedy Miller here with the bases loaded and 1 out. The first pitch, Miller pops it up, back out of play, back behind the stands. 0-1 the count to the senior catcher, Kennedy Miller. Brown gets the sign. Miller back in from the right side. The first pitch, or the 0-1 pitch. Shallow fly ball into center field, caught by White. Here's the tag up from third base, the throw to the home plate. And Torres gets around the tag and in there, and Swan around the tag at third base. And now runners up to second and third. Georgetown leads it 1-0. Issa Torres scores on the sac fly by Kennedy Miller to shallow center field. Georgetown has a 1-0 lead. Here in the top of the third. So great job there by Miller. Got it just deep enough. It'll be F8 in the book for the out of Miller. But that RBI that scores Issa Torres in Georgetown takes the first lead of the ball game, 1-0. Raczynski threw down to third base to try to get Swan advancing. She slid under the tag and safe at third. And that allowed Hartley to move up to second base. First pitch to Rainey Coons misses for ball 1. Rainey 0 for 1 in the ballgame. She popped out on a bunt attempt back in the second inning. Steps in here with runners on second and third and 2 outs. Ava Brown gets the sign, the 1-0 pitch. Fouled off back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count now to Rainey Coons, the center fielder. Coons steps back in from the right side. Brown gets the sign, the 1-1 pitch. On the inside corner, called strike 2. 1-2, now the count to Rainey Coons. With 2 outs and runners at second and third, Georgetown 1 run across. Here in the top of the third, leads it 1-0 over Lake Creek. Coons back in from the right side. The 1-2 pitch popped back behind home plate. Ruchinski couldn't get to it. It didn't go very high, and the home plate umpire tries to scramble out of the way. So the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rainey Coons. Coons back in from the right side. Ava Brown ready to go. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners at second and third. The 1-2 pitch. And a foul ball, ground ball towards the third base dugout. And a good job by Coons to stay alive in that one as she fouled that one off. A different pitch seen by Brown there. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch. And Coons fouls it back to the screen, stays alive, 1-2 still. Brown gets the sign. Coons back in from the right side. The 1-2 pitch. And the fouled off back to the screen. Nice at bat here by Rainey Coons as she fights off pitches left and right. The UIL Softball State Tournament will take place Tuesday, May 30th through Saturday, June 3rd at Red and Charlene McCombs Field at the University of Texas campus in Austin, Texas. Tickets available for purchase starting Monday, May 29th at uiltexas.org/softball/state. The 1-2 pitch to Coons. Outside for ball 2, 2-2 now the count. Rainey Coons battling with Ava Brown here with 2 outs and runners on second and third. 1 run across for Georgetown here in the top of the third. A 1-0 lead. Brown gets the sign, checks the wristband. Readies for the 2-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. And Coons down for out number 3, but not before the Eagles pick up 1 run on 2 hits. No errors and 2 runners left on base after 2.5 innings. Georgetown 1, Lake Creek 0. More Lady Eagle softball on SHN after this.
For over 3 decades, Georgetown has relied on the craftsmanship and expertise of Brennan Remodeling for all their major renovation and addition needs. Since 1988, our neighbors have trusted Brennan to transform their homes into their dream spaces. They're not only dedicated to enhancing homes, but also to building stronger community ties. Brennan Remodeling proudly supports the Georgetown Lady Eagles softball team, showing their commitment to local talent and spirit. To start your home transformation journey today, email Brennan Remodeling at brennanremodel@gmail.com. Let Brennan bring your home vision to life. Life is full of important stories. Your home, your family, your dreams, they're all chapters in your unique journey. At the Ashlynn Kelso team at Thrive Mortgage, they understand this. Ashlynn, a full-time loan officer, full-time mom, and 100% committed to her clients, is passionate about being a part of your story. Each potential homeowner has a unique story, and the Ashlynn Kelso team is here to help you write yours. It's their commitment, their dedication that sets them apart in the world of home loans. Explore more at AshlynKelsoTeam.com and begin your journey towards home ownership. That's AshlynKelsoTeam.com, NMLS number 1074888.
And back here at Mumford High School, sorry about that. I unmuted the wrong microphone and kept mine muted through that whole deal. Carmen Uribe came back in her own slot in hole number 2 in the lineup, and then grounded out to Madeline Hartley at third base for out number 3 to retire the Lions. And so I apologize through all of that. I looked up and saw it was muted and went, that wasn't good. So we go to the top of the 4th. Georgetown leads at 1-0. As we go to inning number 4, Ava Brownstone in the circle for the Lions. She'll face off against the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Isabel Cree. Leads it off and takes the first pitch from Brown in there for a called strike. Cree is 1 for 1 in the ball game. Reached on an infield single, but was left stranded. Back in inning number 2, the 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. Now 0-2 the count to Isabel Cree. Jordan Credeur and Kinley Ball due up here in the top of the 4th for the Lady Eagles. Ava Brown gets the sign, the 0-2 pitch. Inside, almost hit her. Cray gets out of the way and takes it. Inside for ball 1. 1-2 the count to the leadoff batter, Isabel Cray. Brown looks toward the dugout. Extended time period, and now Cray steps out. Now Cray back in from the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Leading off the top of the 4th, the 1-2 pitch. Fly ball sent into a shallow center field. Center fielder comes all the way in and almost on the infield turf and makes the catch for out number 1, and that is Uribe, who is back in center field defensively. White has moved back over to left field. So 1 out here in the top of the 4th. F8 in the book to retire Cray. And Jordan Credeur will step in. She's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Popped out to the shortstop back in the 2nd inning. First pitch from Brown is up and away for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to count to Jordan Credeur, the first baseman for the Eagles. 1 out and the base is empty here in the top of the 4th. Brown gets the sign, the 1-0 pitch. Stays high, ball 2. 2-0 the count to Credeur with Kinley Ball on deck for the Lady Eagles. Credeur back in from the right side. Good set. Brown looks over to the dugout, now to the wristband, and the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Credeur chased the high heater. And now 2 balls and 1 strike. To the junior first baseman, Jordan Credeur. Credeur back in, the 2-1 pitch. Fouled off of the mask of the home plate umpire. Now the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rajinski checks on the home plate umpire, says he's ready to go. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Credeur with 1 out. Here in the top of the 4th, Georgetown, 1 run in the top of the 3rd, leads it 1-0. Ava Brown gets the sign, the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Credeur down for out number 2 on strikes. Second strikeout of the ball game for Ava Brown. And that'll bring up Kinley Ball, the right fielder. 0 for 1 in the ball game. She reached on a fielder's choice back in the second inning. First pitch from Brown on the outside corner for called strike one. 0-1 the count to Kinley Ball. Issa Torres waits on deck if Ball can extend the inning. Brown gets the sign, the 0-1 pitch. Slapped foul back to the netting. 0-2 now the count. On Ball with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Game number 1 of the regional finals. Lake Creek and Georgetown doing battle here in Mumford, Texas, the campus of Mumford High School. Ava Brown gets the sign. Ball back in from the left side, ready. The 0-2 pitch. Outside, ball 1. Good eye there by Kinley Ball. Tough pitch to take there, and she does for ball 1. 1-2 now the count. To the freshman right fielder. Ball back in from the left side, the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And the Eagles go in order here in the top of the 4th. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. After 3.5 innings, Georgetown 1, Lake Creek 0. Lady Eagles softball continues on SHN after this.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a nonprofit, faith-based Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addiction. Oak Ridge is committed to serving and helping men who are truly ready to surrender and want to change their lives for the better. Oak Ridge wants to be a part of God's work in restoring lives and family relationships. There is light at the end of the tunnel. That light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit them online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
For Texas, the UIL softball state tournament will take Charlene McCombs Field at the University of Texas campus in Austin, Texas. Tickets available for purchase starting Monday, May 29th at uiltexas.org/softball/state. And we go to the bottom of the 4th here. Cambry Credor. Allowed 1 hit, struck out 2, hit 1 batter. But has kept the Lady Lions off the scoreboard as they bring up the 3, 4, and 5 hitters here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Ava Brown, Madeline Davis, and Peyton Bauer. Brown steps in 0 for 1 in the ball game, grounded out to Swan at second base on the 4 unassisted 3 double play. And Swan tagged the runner McKee and then threw to first to get Brown for out number 3. The first pitch from Krager is in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count to Ava Brown. The senior pitcher back in from the right side, ready to go as Krager looks in and gets the sign. Cambry delivers the 0-1 pitch. Down low, ball 1. Count evens out at 1-1. To Ava Brown. She leads off the bottom of the 4th for Lake Creek. Georgetown with a 1-0 lead. 1 run in the top of the 3rd. These two teams do battle here in the regional finals. Krager comes set, the 1-1 pitch. Up and away, ball 2, 2-1 the count. To Ava Brown. The outfield expects power from the senior right-handed hitting Brown as all 3 outfielders are out on the warning track. The 2-1 pitch. Outside corner just misses for ball 3. 3-1 the count. To Ava Brown. As she leads off the bottom of the 4th here for the Lady Lions. Krager trying to hit spots and get a call on the corners. Can't do it here. And now the 3-1 count Krager delivers the 3-1 pitch to Brown. Down low, ball 4 and a leadoff walk. As Brown aboard. First walk of the ball game issued by Krager. It looks so number 21 will come into pinch run for the pitcher Brown. That is Jolie Bazan, the senior. She goes to first base, and Ava Brown back to the dugout for the Lions. In steps Madeline Davis. Back in the second inning, she led the inning off with a hit. Reached second base on the error by Rainey Coons as she couldn't handle the base hit. It went off her glove and got behind her, and that allowed Davis to move up to second base, but she was caught stealing trying to get to third. First pitch is up for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Madeline Davis. 1-for-1 in the ball game is Davis. The pinch runner, Bazan, down at first base for the Lions. Davis back in from the left side. Krager gets the sign and the 1-0 pitch. It's high for ball 2. 2-0 the count. Signs given by the Lions. Both runners look at the wristband, and now Madeline Davis back in from the left side. Krager gets the sign. The 2-0 pitch to Davis. In there for a called strike 1. 2-1 now the count to the second baseman, Madeline Davis, the freshman. 1-for-1 in the ball game as she steps in here. The 2-1 count, no outs in the bottom of the fourth, and a runner at first base. Krager gets the sign, the 2-1 pitch. In there. No, my. You kind of hear a moan across the crowd. Now a 3-1 count. That one just missed. And now 3 balls and 1 strike to Madeline Davis with no outs and a runner at first here in the bottom of the fourth. Krager to the wristband. Gets the sign. 3-1 pitch. Foul ball. Fouled off of Kennedy Miller. She'll walk out towards the mound. Took it off of her right hand, the throwing hand. Coach Hall comes down to check on her. So the count goes full to Madeline Davis on the foul ball. So Jolie Bazin, the pinch runner, heads to go back to first base. And now a full count to Madeline Davis with no outs and a runner at first base here in the bottom of the fourth. Umpire gives Kennedy Miller time to make sure she's okay. Now gets us back ready for play. Davis back in from the left side. Krager gets the sign and delivers the payoff pitch. Outside corner called strike 3 as Davis rung up for out number 1. Beautiful pitch there by Krager. Her third strikeout of the ball game. And that'll bring up the designated player, Peyton Bauer. Number 3, she'll step in from the left side. She's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Reached on an error back in the second inning. Was left stranded at third base. Steps in here with 1 out and a runner at first. On deck, the catcher, Kaylee Rochinski. Krager delivers the first pitch to Bauer. Swing and a miss, strike 1. 0-1 to count. Peyton Bauer gets the sign and steps back in from the left side. And Krager gets her sign for Miller. Hannah's ready to go in the circle. The 0-1 pitch. Bunt attempt. She pulls it back and takes it low for ball 1. 1-1 to count. As Hartley was charging in from third base. Infield shifted over. Sam Swan is about 5 steps to the left of the second base bags. Issa Torres in the 5-6 gap, and Hartley about 2 steps off the third baseline. Krager, the 1-1 pitch. Bunt out in front of the mound. Hartley up with it. She's going to have to throw in a hurry, and does, but it's off the glove of Credor into right field, and that'll allow Bowsen to move into third base. It's an infield bunt single there as Hartley's throw went off the glove of Credor, but Bauer had already reached first base. So an infield bunt single, and now runners on the corners, and give the pinch runner Jolie Bazin third base on the air as it went off the glove of Credor into shallow right field, back of second base hole. So now runners on the corners with just 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th, and a visit from Coach Hall out to the circle. The Eagles in another situation here. Try to work out of trouble with 1 out and runners on the corners as the catcher Kaylee Rochinski will step in. Just the second hit of the ball game for the Lions. Coach Hall. Looks like another change here made. By the Lions as they came over to the dugout to give Coach Hall the change. So we'll see what it is. Number 6 is at first base running, so another pinch runner as Gracie Thornburg comes in to run for the DP. Bauer. First pitch from Krager to Rochinski. Misses low for ball 1. Thornburg is the third baseman defensively for the Lions. She is the flex player, and so she runs in her own spot that the designated player Bauer bats in. So she's down at first base. Jolie Bazan down at third base. The 1-0 pitch to Rochinski. Ground ball hit out to short. Torres up with it. Her only play to first base, and that's going to score the tying run as Swan was not covering second base, so Torres has to go to first for the force out. Swan expecting Torres to go home with that. So an opportunity for a double play and to get out of the inning. The Eagles don't get the double play. Instead, they get the 1 out, but the ball game is tied now. So an RBI ground out by Rochinski ties it at 1 apiece. 6-3 on the putout to retire Rochinski for out number 2. As Thornburg moves up to second base, and in steps Shelby Wynn. First pitch from Krager popped off the bat down the first baseline into foul territory, but Credor will make the catch for out number 3. And the Lady Lions are down here in the bottom of the 4th, but not before they pick up 1 run on 1 hit. 1 error and 1 runner left on base. After 4 complete innings, Georgetown 1, Lake Creek 1. Lady Eagles softball continues on SHN after this.
From routine checkups to urgent care, Zoot Pet Hospital and Luxury Boarding is dedicated to your pet's well-being. Their team of highly trained vets provides comprehensive medical services, ensuring your pet's health is their top priority. In unexpected situations, you can count on their immediate and professional emergency assistance. Zoot believes in more than just health. They believe in happiness. That's why they offer quality boarding and doggy daycare services designed with your pet's fun in mind. Discover the Zoot difference, where pets live their best lives. You can learn more about the services online at ZootPets.com. Zoot, proud to support the Georgetown Lady Eagles.
Back here at Mumford High School, we go to the top of the 5th inning. Georgetown and Lake Creek tied up at 1 apiece, and Georgetown will bring up the 1, 2, and 3 hitters. Issa Torres will lead it off. She's 2 for 2 in the day. A single, a double, and a run scored. As she leads off the top of the 5th. Ava Brown in the circle for her 5th inning of work for the Lions. The first pitch to Torres. On the outside corner for called strike 1. Through 4 innings, Ava Brown has thrown 57 pitches, allowed 4 hits, 1 run, struck out 3, walked 1. Torres back in from the left side. Brown gets the sign, the 0-1 pitch. Torres takes it off the outside corner for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Issa Torres, leading off the top of the 5th for Georgetown. 1 run in the top of the 3rd for Georgetown. Lake Creek answers a 1 in the bottom of the 4th, and we stay tied 1-1 now in the top of the 5th. The 1-1 pitch to Torres. Outside, ball 2. Torres, Swan, and McClellan do up here in the top of the 5th for Georgetown. Torres back in from the left side. Brown gets the sign. The 2-1 pitch. Foul tip off the glove of the catcher. Now 2-2. The count to Issa Torres, the senior shortstop for the Lady Eagles. 2 balls, 2 strikes as she leads off the top of the 5th. Single in the 1st, a double, and a run scored in the 3rd. The 2-2 pitch. Torres slaps it foul down the 3rd baseline as Coach Hall gets out of the way. Game 1 of this regional finals, Lake Creek and Georgetown. Battle that you would expect between 2 of the top teams in the nation, both ranked in the top 25 of MaxPrep's national rankings. Game 2 tomorrow at 6 p.m. Rob Hipp will be here on the call. Game 3, if necessary, will be at 8 p.m. tomorrow night here all at Mumford High School to host this regional final. Torres steps out as Brown takes her time getting a sign, and now Torres back in from the left side. The 2-2 pitch. Torres hit ground ball out towards short. The shortstop McKee up with it, throws the first in time for out number 1. 6-3 to retire Torres. And that'll bring up Samantha Swan, the second baseman. Swan 0 for 2 in the ballgame, has reached both times in a fielder's choice. Swan will step in here from the right side. With 1 out and the base is empty, Brown gets the sign from the dugout, takes a look at the armband. Now the first pitch. Swan hits it out towards short. McKee on a couple of hops, throws it across the diamond in time to get Swan. Round number 2, 6-3 in the book. That'll bring up Macy McClellan, the left fielder. She's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Reached on an error back in the 1st inning. Popped out to the first baseman on a bunt attempt. Back in the 3rd inning. Steps in here with 2 outs and the base is empty in the top of the 5th. McClellan in from the right side. Brown gets the sign. The first pitch to McClellan is high for ball 1. Want to know the count? The sophomore left fielder, number 30, Macy McClellan. Brown gets the sign. McClellan from the right side, ready to go. The 1-0 pitch. Inside corner, called strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to McClellan with 2 outs and the base is empty here in the top of the 5th. McClellan back in from the right side. Brown gets the sign. The 1-1 pitch. And McClellan sends it down the right field line, and it's going to land fair. And that'll be a 2-out single by Macy McClellan right down the right field line, and it lands fair. So the Eagles have a base runner. The 5th hit of the ball game for the Lady Eagles. That'll bring up Maddie Hartley. She's 1 for 2 in the ball game. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st inning. Singled and left stranded at second base in the 3rd. 2 outs and a base runner here after the 2-out single by Macy McClellan. Maddie Hartley in from the right side. Hartley, the junior 3rd baseman. Readies for the first pitch. Low, just off the glove of the catcher, Rochinski, but McClellan unable to advance to second. 1 ball, no strikes to Hartley with Kennedy Miller on deck for the Eagles. The 1-0 pitch. Hartley fouls it back to the screen. The count evens out at 1 ball and 1 strike. We know Hartley has the home run power. She opened up the scoring in Game 2 of the regional semifinals against Santa Fe with a 3-run shot in the 4th inning. Georgetown went on to win it 7-0 and sweep the series 2-0 to advance to this regional finals. So Hartley back in. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs, a runner at first base, the 1-1 pitch. Inside for ball 2, a throw down to first base, McClellan safely back in there. 2 balls and a strike to count to Maddie Hartley. 1-1 your score here in game number 1 of this regional final. The winner advances to the state Final Four in Austin, Texas. The 2-1 pitch. Hartley pulls it foul towards the third base dugout. The count evens up. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Hartley back in from the right side. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first base. Brown gets the sign, comes set. The 2-2 pitch. And the change up there, and Hartley does a great job of fouling it off. Staying alive in the at-bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hartley back in. McClellan off at first base. The 2-2 pitch. Hartley pulls it foul down the third baseline. Stays alive. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The crowd getting into this one. A very tight 1-1 ball game here in the top of the 5th. Brown gets the sign she wants. Now she'll step off. Rochinski is communicating with the dugout. Now Hartley steps back in from the right side. Brown ready to go. The 2-2 pitch. Hartley takes it high. Ball 3. The throw down to McClellan. Gets to second base. The ball goes into the center field. Here goes McClellan to third. And now the Eagles have a base runner at third base with 2 outs. As Rochinski threw it down and no one covering the base. And so a stolen base and an error allows McClellan to get all the way to third base. And a full count to Maddie Hartley. Be E2 as Rochinski threw it into center field. Allows McClellan to get from second to third, and now a 3-2 count for Hartley with a runner at third. The 3-2 pitch inside, ball 4. It's got to be ball 4. Now they're saying it's a full count. I had it a full count already. Now it's a full count. Not sure how that worked out. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Hartley. With 2 outs and a runner on third. The payoff pitch. Hartley smokes one down the third baseline. Foul out in front of that one. Off a car or 2 in the parking lot. Three balls, 2 strikes to Maddie Hartley. With 2 outs here in the top of the 5th, a runner at third base. Brown gets the sign. Hartley ready from the right side. The payoff pitch. Hartley ground ball out to McKee at short. She'll throw to first in time. And the Eagles are retired here in the top of the 5th. 6-3 on the putout to retire Hartley and the Eagles. The Eagles go pretty quietly here. No runs on 1 hit, no error, or 1 error. And 1 runner left on base after 4.5 innings. Georgetown 1, Lake Creek 1. Lady Eagle softball continues on SHN after this.
Welcome to D&L Printing, your one-stop shop in Georgetown for all your printing needs. From business cards to banners, brochures to yard signs, we've got you covered. Need to reach your customers? Try our professional flyer and postcard printing services. For something more noticeable, try our eye-catching vehicle magnets. Check out our convenient online services at dlprint.com. And remember, we're proud supporters of Georgetown Lady Eagles softball. D&L Printing, making your business stand out. Online at dlprint.com.
Back here at Mumford, Texas, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Georgetown and Lake Creek tied up at 1 apiece here in game number 1 of this regional finals. The winner of this series advances to the state semifinals at Austin, Texas, UT's McCombs Field. And now Cambry Krager on in the circle for her 5th inning of work, and she'll face off against the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Lions. Allison Higginbotham will lead it off. She's 0 for 1 in the ball game, and she steps in here from the right side to face off against Krager. Through 4 innings, Krager has thrown 62 pitches, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 batter hit by a pitch. As Higginbotham fouls this one back out of play, strike 1. Higginbotham, Piper White, Maddie McKee due up here in the top or bottom of the 5th for the Lake Creek Lady Lions. Allison Higginbotham, the first baseman. Back in from the right side. Krager, the 0-1 pitch, up high, ball 1. Sailed that heater, and evens out the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. To Higginbotham, the junior first baseman. The 1-1 pitch from Krager. Swing and a miss, strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes to the number 8 hitter, Allison Higginbotham, for the Lake Creek Lions. Krager asks Miller to go through the signs again. Now, Krager ready to go. The 1-2 pitch. Stays just high, ball 2, and the count evens out. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Higginbotham. She leads off the bottom of the 5th for Lake Creek. Game 2 tomorrow night, 6 p.m. from Mumford High School. Rob Hipp will be here for the call. Krager ready to go. The 2-2 pitch to Higginbotham. She'll pop it up right side of the infield. Credor into foul territory, and she'll make the catch for out number 1. Kennedy Miller puts her arms out and said, I was there to catch you. So the first out of the inning, P3 in the book to retire Higginbotham. And that'll bring up Piper White, the number 9 hitter. She's the left fielder now defensively. She started out in left field, went to center field, now back to left field as Uribe came back in for the Lions. Piper White 0 for 1 of the ball game, struck out swinging back in the 3rd inning. Steps in here with 1 out, and the base is empty in the bottom of the 5th. White from the left side, ready to go. Krager, the first pitch. Outside and low, ball 1. Infield shift on as Credor shades towards second base off of first base. Sam Swan about 5 steps to the left of second base. Torres in the hole between 3rd and short. Hartley on the line at 3rd base. And this pitch fouled off down the 3rd baseline, foul. 1-1 now, the count to Piper White. Oh, slap cut there as she fouled it off, and it curled out of play. Now the count, 1 ball and 1 strike to the junior left fielder, Piper White. Now White will come over along with Maddie McKee and visit with Coach Michelle Rochinski down the 3rd baseline. Now Piper White returns back to the left side to get ready to hit. Krager waits for her there. Now Krager gets the sign. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Krager will step off. Look over towards the dugout. Now Krager ready to go. The 1-1 pitch. White slaps it foul down the 3rd baseline over the dugout. Out of play, and now behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Piper White, the number 9 hitter for the Lions. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out, and the base is empty here in the bottom of the 5th. 1-1 your score. Georgetown put 1 up in the top of the 3rd. Lake Creek answered to 1 in the bottom of the 4th. Krieger, the 1-2 pitch. Outside corner, called strike 3. Piper White is down for a strike out. Number 2. Some confusion there. They're looking for the big strikeout. The home plate umpire called it strike right off the bat. So now we'll see as the discussion as he goes down and talks to Coach Raczynski. Should be 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning on that strikeout of Piper White. So Piper White down on strikes, 4th strikeout of the ball game for Cambry Krager. And there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th as Maddie McKee steps in for the Lions. She's 0 for 2 in the ball game, reached on an error in the 1st, and grounded out in the 3rd. Krager gets the sign, ready to go. The first pitch to McKee. Swing and a miss, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike to McKee with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. The base is empty. Swan just about 3 steps to the right of second base. Issa Torres more towards the gap between 2nd and 3rd. And now the 0-1 pitch from Krager. Ground ball out towards short. Torres up with it to throw across the diamond in time for out number 3. And the Lions are retired in order here in the bottom of the 5th. 6-3 on the putout to retire McKee and the Lions. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on after 5 complete innings. Georgetown won, Lake Creek won. Lady Eagle softball continues on SHN after this.
For over 3 decades, Georgetown has relied on the craftsmanship and expertise of Brennan Remodeling for all their major renovation and addition needs. Since 1988, our neighbors have trusted Brennan to transform their homes into their dream spaces. They're not only dedicated to enhancing homes, but also to building stronger community ties. Brennan Remodeling proudly supports the Georgetown Lady Eagles softball team, showing their commitment to local talent and spirit. To start your home transformation journey today, email Brennan Remodeling at brennanremodel@gmail.com. Let Brennan bring your home vision to life.
Here in the regional finals as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Georgetown and Lake Creek in a good one. 1-1 your score. Georgetown has 1 run on 5 hits. The Lake Creek Lions have 1 run on 2 hits. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Correction, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters do up for the Eagles here in the top of the 6th. Kennedy Miller, Rainey Coons, and Isabel Cray. First pitch to Miller. Changeup is in there for a called strike. Miller is 0 for 0 in the ball game. She walked back in the 2nd inning and had an RBI sac fly in the 3rd to score the only run of the game for Georgetown. Scored Torres from 3rd base. Ava Brown, the 0-1 pitch, and Miller smokes it foul just over the head of one of the assistant coaches of Lake Creek down into the bullpen. And now the count, no balls and 2 strikes to Kennedy Miller. She leads off the top of the 6th here for the Eagles. Through 5 innings, Brown has thrown 76 pitches, allowed 5 hits, struck out 3, walked 1. The 0-2 pitch, and Miller sends it into right center field. Uribe closes the gap and makes the catch as she falls to her knees for out number 1. The wind held that one up, or that would have been a 2-baser for Kennedy Miller. The wind blowing from right field to left field. And it started to cut like it was headed to that right center field gap away from Uribe. But it got held up, and Uribe makes the catch for out number 1. F8 in the book to retire Kennedy Miller. And Rainey Coons will step in, 0 for 2 in the ball game. Popped out to first in the 2nd inning, struck out swinging in the 3rd. Brown gets the sign and delivers the first pitch to Coons. She'll bunt it out in front of the mound. First baseman covering. Higginbotham will throw to Davis at first base. For out number 2, 3-4 on the putout to retire Coons. And that'll bring up Isabel Cray, the designated player. Isabel Cray, I'm going to get it wrong or right. I apologize. I think it's Cree. So Isabel Cree steps in, 1 for 2 in the ball game. Singled and left stranded in the second inning. Flew out to center field in the fourth. Steps in here with 2 outs and a base is empty. The first pitch from Brown is in there for a called strike. No balls, 1 strike to Isabel Cree, the designated player. She is a sophomore. Steps back in for the right side. Brown gets the sign. The 0-1 pitch. Up high, ball 1. 1-1 to count. Jordan Credor on deck for the Lady Eagles. Ava Brown looks towards the dugout, gets the sign, checks her armband, and here comes the 1-1 pitch. Cree takes it low and inside for ball 2. 2-1 to count to the designated player, Isabel Cree. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. The base is empty here in the top of the 6th. Now Brown will step off. Now Cree back in from the right side. Brown ready to go. The 2-1 pitch. Cree takes it just high from outside for ball 3, and now a 3-1 count. Rochinski gets an earful from the head coach. Probably safe to say that's our mom, Michelle Rochinski. Rochinski threw it over the head of Brown into center field. 3 balls, 1 strikes. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Base is empty for the Lady Eagles. As Cree back in for the right side. Brown gets the sign, the 3-1 pitch. Inside, ball 4, a 2-out walk. Gives the Lady Eagles a base runner, the 2nd walk of the ball game for Ava Brown. That'll bring up number 34, Jordan Credor. Credor, the junior first baseman. Will step in here with 2 outs and a runner at first base. Credor from the right side, ready to go. Ava Brown looks at the wristband and comes set. The first pitch. Credor takes it up and away. Ball 1. Throw down to first base. And Higginbotham can't hold on to it. Cree dives back in safely. 1 ball, no strikes to Credor, with Kinley Ball on deck for the Eagles, the number 9 hitter. Credor, the number 8 hitter, back in from the right side. Ava Brown, the 1-0 pitch. And foul back to the screen for strike 1. 1-1 to count now to Credor. One ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and a base runner at first base here in the top of the 6th for the Lady Eagles. Credor back in from the right side. Ava Brown looks for her sign, gets it. And now the 1-1 pitch. Credor pulls it foul off the third base dugout screen for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to the first baseman, Jordan Credor. Ava Brown back ready to go. Credor back in from the right side. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, ball 2. Now you hear the crowd chatter picking up here, as the Lake Creek fans thought that was strike 3. And now the count evens out at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jordan Credor, with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Isabel Cree down at first base with a 2-out walk. And now the 2-2 pitch. Credor pops it up right side into shallow right field. The second baseman, Davis, makes the catch in fair territory for out number 3 to retire the Lady Eagles. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 5.5 innings, Georgetown 1, Lake Creek 1. More Lady Eagles softball after this on SHN.
Life is full of important stories. Your home, your family, your dreams, they're all chapters in your unique journey. At the Ashlynn Kelso team at Thrive Mortgage, they understand this. Ashlynn, a full-time loan officer, full-time mom, and 100% committed to her clients, is passionate about being a part of your story. Each potential homeowner has a unique story, and the Ashlynn Kelso team is here to help you write yours. It's their commitment, their dedication that sets them apart in the world of home loans. Explore more at AshlynKelsoTeam.com and begin your journey towards home ownership. That's AshlynKelsoTeam.com, NMLS number 1074888.
Back here at Mumford High School, we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Georgetown 1, Lake Creek 1. Lake Creek Lady Lions coming up to bat here in the bottom of the 6th. They will bring up the 2, 3, and 4 hitters against the Lady Eagles and Cambry Crager. The UIL Softball State Tournament will take place Tuesday, May 30th through Saturday, June 3rd at Red and Charlene McCombs Field at the University of Texas campus in Austin, Texas. Tickets available for purchase starting Monday, May 29th at uiltexas.org/softball/state. And the Lady Eagles getting ready for the bottom of the 6th here through 5 innings. Crager has thrown 73 pitches. She's allowed 2 hits, 1 run. Struck out 4, walked 1, hit 1. And she works the bottom of the 6th here against Uribe, Brown, and Davis for the Lady Lions. Carmen Uribe steps in 0 for 1 in the ball game. She hit into a ground out in the 3rd inning. Steps in here to lead things off for the Lions in the bottom of the 6th. Crager, first pitch to Uribe. Swing and a miss, strike 1. The infield shift on for Uribe. And Sam Swan is back on the third base side of second base. Torres in the gap between third and short. Hartley about 2 steps off the baseline at third base. Crager delivers the 0-1 pitch. Bunt attempt. And Uribe misses that one, and now it's no balls and 2 strikes. To the number 2 hitter in the lineup, Carmen Uribe. Uribe, the junior center fielder. Steps back in from the left side. Crager looks in and gets the sign from Kennedy Miller. The 0-2 pitch. And a bunt fouled. Popped up, but off of the backstop wall that goes all the way around to the dugout down the third baseline. So Uribe stays alive. No balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 6th as she leads it off for the Lady Lions. 1 run on 5 hits for the Lady Eagles. 1 run on 2 hits for the Lady Lions. Crager gets ready. The 0-2 pitch to Uribe. Outside corner just misses, and now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ava Brown on deck. Madeline Davis in the hole for the Lake Creek Lions here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Uribe. Crager gets set, the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, it's down to the turf. Miller will throw down to first, and a great play by Jordan Credor to scoop it and stay on the bag for out number 1. So give Crager the credit for a strikeout of Uribe for out number 1. And 2-3 on the putout. 5th strikeout by Crager, but a great play by Credor to keep that one from going down the right field line. And now in steps Ava Brown. She's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Grounded out in the first, walked and scored a run in the 4th inning. Crager, the first pitch to Brown. Fly ball into shallow right field, but Sam Swan is there from second base to make the catch for out number 2. Put it down as P4 to retire Brown. And that'll bring up the number 4 hitter, the second baseman, Madeline Davis. She's 1 for 2 in the ball game. Singled and reached second on an error in the 2nd inning. Was caught stealing, trying to steal 3rd. Kennedy Miller threw it out on the caught stealing, and then she struck out looking in the 4th. Steps in here with the bases empty and 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Krager delivers the first pitch to Davis. That one stays high for ball one. And Davis, the freshman second baseman, in the number 4 hole, steps back in. The 1-0 pitch. It's in there. No, it's not. Misses low. Ball 2. 2-0 the count to Madeline Davis. The home plate umpire, very methodical in his calls. You can't tell the difference until you have to wait a couple seconds. Krager gets the sign. The 2-0 pitch to Davis. That one's inside for ball 3. 3-0 the count now to the number 4 hitter, Madeline Davis, with Peyton Bauer, the designated player, on deck for the Lions. Krager, the 3-0 pitch. That one's in there for a called strike. 3-1 now the count. Davis gets back in from the left side. Krager gets the sign. The 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. And now the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. The bases are empty as Madeline Davis trying to extend this bottom of the 6th inning for the Lady Lions. Krager gets the sign. Davis ready. The payoff pitch. Up and in. Ball 4. A 2-out walk gives the Lady Lions a base runner here. Second walk of the ball game issued by Cambry Krager. And now Peyton Bauer, the designated player, will step in from the left side. The senior steps in here with 2 outs and a runner at first base. Bauer is 1 for 2 in the ball game. Reached on an error in the 2nd inning, singled in the 4th, was left stranded in both times. As she steps in here with 2 outs and a runner at first. Krager delivers the first pitch. In there for a called strike. 0-1 the count to Peyton Bauer. Noise being made from both sides. These fans trying to get their teams going. Here in the bottom of the 6th, tied up at 1-1. Krager, the 0-1 pitch. Fouled off back behind home plate. And now Krager ahead of Bauer in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. The infield shift on for Bauer as well, with Swan on the third base side of second base. Torres in the hole. Hartley about 2 steps off the third base line. Krager, the 0-2 pitch. And a foul ball sent down the left field line, out of play. Peyton Bauer stays alive. No balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs and a runner at first. Lake Creek. Trying to stay alive here in the bottom of the 6th. Trying to keep the inning going. Krager, the 0-2 pitch. A ground ball to third. Hartley fields it in fair territory. The throw on the dime, across the diamond in time for out number 3. 5-3 on the putout to retire Peyton Bauer and the Lady Lions here in the bottom of the 6th. No runs on no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. After 6 complete innings, Georgetown 1, Lake Creek 1. We come back with a 7th inning after this. Lady Eagle softball continues on SHN.
I'll never forget the day I decided to go out for the football team.
Welcome to DNL.
I'll never forget the day I decided to go out for the football team. Mr. Banks, the JV football coach and my history teacher, asked me to stay after class. I thought I was in trouble. He said, "Hey, Darius, have you thought about going out for football? I think you'd be great." Fact is, I never played football. Fact is, I never had anyone tell me I'd be great at something. So, with no experience at all, I signed up. And a week later, I padded up and was running drills on the field. I never was great, but playing high school sports was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I was accepted by my teammates, and I learned that when someone believes in you, you can believe in yourself.
Encourage a student you know to take part in a high school sport. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Through 6 innings, Georgetown 1 run on 5 hits and 4 errors. Lake Creek 1 run on 2 hits and 2 errors. As we go to the top of the 7th inning, the Eagles bring up the 9-1-2 hitters. Kinley Ball will lead it off against Ava Brown and the Lions here in the top of the 7th. Ball in from the left side. First pitch, bunts it down the third baseline. The third baseman up with it. Thornburg throws across in time to get Ball for out number 1. 5-3. Question being asked here by Coach Hall to come down and visit with the home plate umpire. His Ball is told to go back and stand on first base by the first base coach. Coach Melissa Hall chats with the home plate umpire here. If it stands, it's 5-3 on the putout for out number 1 to retire Kinley Ball. And that'll bring up Issa Torres. So not sure what the discussion is here. Coach Hall will take the explanation and head back down to third as she waves Ball off the bag. So 1 out here in the top of the 7th. As Issa Torres will step in with 1 out, the base is empty. She's 2 for 3 in the ball game. A single in the first, a double and a run scored in the third, and grounded out back in the 5th inning. Torres steps in from the left side. Ava Brown readies and delivers the first pitch to Torres. Up and away, ball 1. Great spot for the Eagles to be in here in the 7th with the 1, 2, and 3 hitters. Coming up, the Lady Lions will bring up the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the bottom of the 7th. Brown looks over and gets the sign. The 1-0 pitch to Torres. That one stays high for ball 2. 2-0 the count. Two balls, no strikes with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Torres back in. Brown delivers the 2-0 pitch. Outside, ball 3. 3-0 the count to Issa Torres with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. In a 1-1 ball game here in game number 1 of this regional finals best of 3 series. Brown looks over, gets the sign. The 3-0 pitch. Outside and low, ball 4, a 1-out walk. The Lady Eagles have a base runner on here at the top of the 7th. Third walk issued by Ava Brown in the ball game. And here comes head coach Michelle Rochinski out to visit in the circle for the Lions. Quick timeout. More Lady Eagles softball after this on SHN.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a nonprofit, faith-based Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addiction. Oak Ridge is committed to serving and helping men who are truly ready to surrender and want to change their lives for the better. Oak Ridge wants to be a part of God's work in restoring lives and family relationships. There is light at the end of the tunnel. That light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit them online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
And we're back here after Coach Rochinski heads back to the third base dugout. Ava Brown stays in the circle. As Samantha Swan, the second baseman, steps in. She's 0 for 3 in the ballgame. Has reached base 2 times on fielder's choices. Grounded out in the 5th inning. Steps in here with 1 out. And a runner down at first base. The first pitch from Brown is up high, ball 1. A 1-out walk to Issa Torres has her down at first base here in the top of the 7th. Swan steps back in from the right side, the senior second baseman. With a 1-ball, no strike count. Brown gets the sign. The 1-0 pitch. Swan sends one down the left field line, but it curls out of play, foul ball. 1-1 now the count to Samantha Swan. Infield playing straight away against Swan. The third baseman, Thornburg, about 2 steps in front of the bag at third base. Same for Higginbotham down at first base. Outfield straight away. 1-1 pitch. Swan fouls it back behind home plate off the backstop wall. Now behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. With 1 out here in the top of the 7th, Issa Torres, a 1-out walk down at first base. Brown looks over and gets the sign. Swan back in from the right side. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled off back behind home plate. Swan stays alive in the at-bat. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Through 6 complete innings. Ava Brown had thrown 90 pitches. Cambry Krager had thrown 89. So both these pitchers locked into this beautiful duel here in game number 1. We're in the top of the 7th. 1-1 your score. 1 out. The Eagles have a runner down at first base. Brown gets the sign. The 1-2 pitch. Swan fouls it back over the backstop and stays alive in the at-bat. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Couldn't draw it up any better with your 1, 2, and 3 hitters. After a leadoff ground out by Kinley Ball. Then Issa Torres draws the walk. Now Swan battling. 1 ball and 2 strikes with the 1 out and a runner at first. Brown gets a sign, the 1-2 pitch. Swan pops it back behind home plate, and it's going to get into the net. So Swan stays alive in the at-bat as Rochinski had tossed the headgear and was given chase. But it caught the net. Swan stays alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Samantha Swan, the senior second baseman for the Lady Eagles. Torres down at first base. Brown gets the sign, the 1-2 pitch. Change up, hit into right field. Wind settles under it, makes the catch for out number 2. Fires back to first base, but Issa Torres was standing on the bag. She's back in safely. F9 of the book to retire Swan for out number 2. And that'll bring up the left fielder, number 30, Macy McClellan. She's 1 for 3 on the day. Reached on an error and stole second base, was left stranded in the first. Popped out to the first baseman on a bunt attempt in the third and singled and left stranded at third base in the 5th inning. McClellan steps in here from the right side with 2 outs and a runner at first as Brown gets the sign from the catcher and the first pitch. McClellan takes it in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count. No balls, 1 strike to Macy McClellan, the number 3 hitter for the Lady Eagles. Maddie Hartley on deck. Should McClellan be able to extend the inning? Brown gets the sign, the 0-1 pitch. McClellan pops it up down the left field line. The third baseman, Thornburg, charges in and makes the catch in foul territory. 4 out, number 3, and the Lady Eagles are retired here in the top of the 7th. P5 in the book to retire McClellan and the Lady Eagles. No runs on no hits, no errors, and a runner left on. After 6.5 innings, we remain in a 1-1 tie. Lady Eagles softball continues on SHN after this.
From routine checkups to urgent care, Zoot Pet Hospital and Luxury Boarding is dedicated to your pet's well-being. Their team of highly trained vets provides comprehensive medical services, ensuring your pet's health is their top priority. In unexpected situations, you can count on their immediate and professional emergency assistance. Zoot believes in more than just health. They believe in happiness. That's why they offer quality boarding and doggy daycare services designed with your pet's fun in mind. Discover the Zoot difference, where pets live their best lives. You can learn more about the services online at ZootPets.com. Zoot, proud to support the Georgetown Lady Eagles.
And we're back here at Mumford High School as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Georgetown 1, Lake Creek 1. Cambry Krager on for her 7th inning of work for the Lady Eagles. Through 6 innings, she's thrown 89 pitches, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, struck out 5, walked 2, and hit 1. She'll face off against the 6, 7, and 8 hitters here in the Lions lineup. The catcher, Raczynski, will lead it off. First pitch, misses low, ball one. Kaylee Raczynski, 0 for 1 of the ball game, was hit by a pitch and left stranded at second base in the second inning. Grounded out to shortstop in the fourth inning. Krager, the 1-0 pitch, is in there for a called strike, and the count evens out at 1 ball and 1 strike. To the catcher, Kaylee Raczynski. Shelby Wynn, Allison Higginbotham, both due up here in the bottom of the 7th for the Lions. Krager gets the sign, the 1-1 pitch. And a ball hit into right field. Here comes on the right fielder, and it's going to be a catch made by the right fielder, and that is going to be Kinley Ball. Nice play there by the freshman right fielder. She came in and made the catch on the run. Round number 1, F9 of the book to retire Raczynski. And that'll bring up, this will be a pinch hitter here for the Lions. It'll be number 21, Jolie Bazin. Bazin will step in here, pinch hitting for Shelby Wynn. With 1 out in the bottom of the 7th, the first pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Jolie Bazan, the senior left-handed hitter. Pinch hits here in the bottom of the 7th. Krager delivers the 0-1 pitch. Down low, ball 1. The count evens out at 1-1. Krager gets the sign. The 1-1 pitch. On the outside corner. Just missed for ball 2. Wow. 2-1 the count. The 2-1 pitch from Krager. On the outside corner, called strike 2. Everyone has to hesitate. Do you cheer or wait for a ball or strike call? And now the count evens up at 2-2 to Jolie Bazan. The pinch hitter here for the Lions with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Krager, the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 6 of the ball game by Cambry Krager. And now looks like another pinch hitter for the Lions. Try to see the number as it's blocked right now as she talks with the coach, Coach Raczynski, down on the left third base side. It looks like it's going to be number 13. That'll be Maggie Hayward, the sophomore. She'll pinch hit for the first baseman, Allison Higginbotham. With 2 outs and the base is empty here in the bottom of the 7th. Higginbotham was 0 for 2. And now in steps Hayward. Krager's first pitch to Hayward. Fouled off back behind home plate. Strike 1. No balls and a strike to the pinch hitter, Maggie Hayward. The sophomore steps in from the right side. 2 outs and the base is empty here for the Lions in the bottom of the 7th. Krager's going to step off. Didn't like what she saw. Kind of get herself set. Swan comes in and talks to her. Now, Krager with a nod of the head. Comes set in the circle. The 0-1 pitch to Hayward. Check swing. It should have been strike 2. Howie didn't call that one around. The bat had crossed home plate. They're going to say she held her swing, and now it's 1-1. Sure looked like she was unable to check that swing there and went around. So now it's a 1-1 count to Hayward with 2 outs and the base is empty. The 1-1 pitch from Krager. It's on the outside corner for a called strike. 1-2 now the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. The bases are empty. Krager gets the sign from Kennedy Miller. Comes set, the 1-2 pitch. Down low, ball 2 as it skips in. Now the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To Maggie Hayward, the pinch hitter here in the bottom of the 7th for the Lake Creek Lions with 2 outs and the empty bases. Krager gets set, the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3. And the 7th inning comes to a close, and we're still tied at 1-1. Krager strikes out 2 of the 3 hitters here in the 7th. 7 strikeouts in the ballgame for Krager, and we go to the top of the 8th, all tied up 1-1. Georgetown Lady Eagles softball continues on SHN after this.
Welcome to D&L Printing, your one-stop shop in Georgetown for all your printing needs. From business cards to banners, brochures to yard signs, we've got you covered. Need to reach your customers? Try our professional flyer and postcard printing services. For something more noticeable, try our eye-catching vehicle magnets. Check out our convenient online services at dlprint.com. And remember, we're proud supporters of Georgetown Lady Eagles softball. D&L Printing, making your business stand out. Online at dlprint.com.
Here on SHN Sports as we go to the top of the 8th, live from Mumford High School in Mumford, Texas, home of the regional finals between the Lake Creek Lions and the Lady Eagles of Georgetown High School. We go to the top of the 8th. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for Georgetown. Maddie Hartley, Kennedy Miller, and Rainey Coons. Ava Brown in the circle for 8th inning of work. The first pitch to Hartley, low and outside, ball 1. Hartley is 1 for 3 on the day. Reached on the fielder's choice in the first, singled and left stranded in the third, and grounded out in the 5th. Through 7 complete innings pitched, Ava Brown has thrown 104 pitches, allowed 5 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, the 1-0 pitch. And Hartley pops it into right center field. Center fielder, Uribe, ranges over to make the catch for out number 1, F8 in the book to retire Hartley. And that'll bring up the senior catcher, number 17, Kennedy Miller. Miller is 0 for 1 in the ball game. Walked in the 2nd inning, an RBI sac fly in the 3rd, and flew out to center field in the 6th inning. Steps in here with 1 out in the top of the 8th, and the base is empty as Ava Brown gets the sign. The first pitch to Kennedy Miller. Inside, ball 1. I want to know the count to Kennedy Miller. The University of Arkansas commit. She'll head to University of Arkansas to be a Razorback after graduation on Saturday and after this season ends. Brown gets the sign, the 1-0 pitch. Miller sends it down the left field line. If it's fair, it's gone, but it is foul. She launched that rocket, but pulled it about 15, 20 feet foul. The crowd got quiet there, thinking we may have taken a 1-run lead, but instead, Miller returns to home plate with a 1-1 count. Just out in front of that changeup from Ava Brown. Kennedy Miller, clearly a power hitter here for the Lady Eagles, steps back in. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. Here in the top of the 8th, Ava Brown gets the sign. The 1-1 pitch to Miller. Changeup is in there for a called strike. 1-2. Now the count to Kennedy Miller with the center fielder, Rainey Coons, on deck. For the Eagles here in the top of the 8th inning. Ava Brown takes her time. Now gets the sign. And Kennedy Miller didn't like the time frame as Ava Brown looking straight up into the sun as it sets off to our left over the third base dugout. So now, sun squarely in the eyes of the right side of the field. The 1-2 pitch skips in there for ball 2. 2-2 now the count. Trying not to give Miller anything good. she can get a hold of. Miller back in from the right side. Ava Brown gets the sign. The 2-2 pitch. Up high, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes now to Kennedy Miller with 1 out. Here in the top of the 8th, the base is empty. Miller back in from the right side. Ava Brown toes the rubber, gets the sign. The payoff pitch to Miller. Inside, almost hit her. Kennedy Miller will take first base with a 1-out walk here in the top of the 8th. The 4th walk issued on the ballgame by Ava Brown. And now Rainey Coons will step in. She's 0 for 3 in the ballgame. Popped out in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 3rd, grounded out in the 6th inning. Steps in here with 1 out. The runner on first base. Coons in from the right side. The first pitch from Brown. And Rainey Coons puts it into left center field. And Uribe tracks it down. What a play by the center fielder. Wow. Uribe took off on a full sprint and made a running catch before the wall to take the hit away from Rainey Coons, or that may have been trouble for the Lady Lions. So Kennedy Miller scrambles back to first base with 2 outs now. F8 in the book to retire Coons. What a play there by Uribe. And that'll bring up number 2, Isabel Cree. She's 1 for 2 on the game. Single to left stranded in the 2nd. Flew out to center in the 4th. Walked and left stranded in the 6th inning. First pitch misses for a ball. Checked down to first base. The umpire said she did not go around as she held her swing. So 1-0 the count to Isabel Cree. Jordan Credeur on deck for the Lady Eagles. Should Cree be able to extend the inning? The 1-0 pitch from Brown. Swing and a miss, strike 1. 1-1 now the count to the DP, Isabel Cree. Carmen Uribe, the junior center fielder, made an outstanding play there to keep the Lady Eagles from possibly taking a 2-1 lead as Kennedy Miller was off on the crack of the bat, but got back safely after Uribe ran it down in the left center field gap just before the wall. The 1-1 pitch fouled off back to the screen. And now Cree behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Runner on first base. Cree steps back in from the right side as Brown at the back of the circle grabs the rosin bag and now toes the rubber and gets the sign. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first base. Now Cree will take her time as Brown wanted the dugout to go through the signs again. So Isabel Cree back in from the right side, ready to go. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, called strike 3. And the Eagles are out here in the top of the 8th. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base after 7.5 innings. Georgetown 1, Lake Creek 1. Lady Eagles softball continues on SHN after this.
For over 3 decades, Georgetown has relied on the craftsmanship and expertise of Brennan Remodeling for all their major renovation and addition needs. Since 1988, our neighbors have trusted Brennan to transform their homes into their dream spaces. They're not only dedicated to enhancing homes, but also to building stronger community ties. Brennan Remodeling proudly supports the Georgetown Lady Eagles softball team, showing their commitment to local talent and spirit. To start your home transformation journey today, email Brennan Remodeling at brennanremodel@gmail.com. Let Brennan bring your home vision to life.
Back here on SHN as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning at Mumford High School for this regional final, game number 1. Free softball at no cost to you. So we get extra for the more bang for the buck here at Mumford High School as we go to the bottom of the 8th, Georgetown. Back in the field, Cambry Krager in the circle for her 8th inning of work. Through 7 innings, she's thrown 102 pitches. She's allowed 2 hits with 1 run, struck out 7, walked 2, and has hit 1 batter. And here she'll face off against the 9-1 and 2 hitters. Piper White will step in. She's 0 for 2, struck out 2 times in the ballgame. She leads off the bottom of the 8th for the Lions. White, McKee, and Uribe due up. Here for the Lions in the bottom of the 8th. Krager, the first pitch to White. She squares around a bunt. And it's called strike 1. No balls and a strike to Piper White, the number 9 hitter, the left fielder for the Lady Lions. The junior steps back in from the left side. Krager gets the sign, the 0-1 pitch. Bunt attempt. She pulls it back and takes it for a called strike. No balls and 2 strikes. Now the count to Piper White. Struck out looking in the third, struck out swinging in the third. Struck out looking in the 5th inning. She leads off the bottom of the 8th here for the Lions. No balls and 2 strikes. Piper back in from the left side. Krager gets the sign, the 0-2 pitch. Outside corner, called strike 3. White down on strikes for the 3rd time of the ball game. 8 strikeout of the ball game for Krager. A fantastic bubble machine in the stands. When the good plays happen, the bubbles fly, and it's amazing. They are in high quantity as they fly by. I have some bubble marks on my glasses here as they pop in the vicinity. And in steps the number 1 hitter for the Lake Creek Lions, Maddie McKee, the shortstop. She'll step in here with the 1 out, and the base is empty in the bottom of the 8th. She's 0 for 3 in the ballgame. Reached on an error in the first and grounded out to short twice now in the 3rd and 5th inning. The first pitch from Krager, swing and a miss, strike 1. Seems like Krager's pitches have gotten more and more effective the later she's gone into this ball game. 5 strikeouts in the last 3 innings for Krager, 5 of the 8. The 0-1 pitch to McKee. Low and outside, ball 1. 1-1 the count to Maddie McKee. Carmen Uribe, the center fielder, on deck for the Lions. Krager gets the sign, the 1-1 pitch. Fouled off, back off the screen. For strike 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes to count now to Maddie McKee. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Base is empty here in the bottom of the 8th. Lake Creek. Maddie McKee back in the box. The 1-2 pitch from Krager. Outside corner just misses for ball 2. Lake Creek has put up 2 hits in the ballgame, scored 1 run. They have left 4 runners on base here in the ballgame. Krager gets ready. The 2-2 pitch to McKee. Ground ball out towards short. Torres off her glove into center field. A base hit for Maddie McKee. And the Lions have something going here in the bottom of the 8th. A 1-out single. 3rd hit of the ball game for the Lions. That'll bring up Carmen Uribe. Uribe 0 for 2 in the ball game. Grounded out in the 3rd. Struck out swinging in the 6th. Put out on the throwdown by Kennedy Miller. She'll step in here. 0 for 2 as the Lake Creek faithful rise to their feet. The Lions have a runner on first with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Krager gets the sign, the first pitch to Uribe. Ground bunt slap hit towards 3rd. Hartley fields it, throws the first in time for out number 2. Kind of a chop bunt there, and Hartley fields it, makes a nice throw to Credeur at first base for out number 2 to get Uribe. 5-3 on the putout. And that moves McKee into scoring position down at second base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th, and Ava Brown coming up to bat. Brown 0 for 2 in the ball game. And now we'll have a coach's visit from head coach Melissa Hall of the Lady Eagles. She's trying to get the attention of the home plate umpire. And now coach's visit out to the circle. We'll take a quick timeout. Lady Eagle softball continues after this on SHN.
Life is full of important stories. Your home, your family, your dreams, they're all chapters in your unique journey. At the Ashlynn Kelso team at Thrive Mortgage, they understand this. Ashlynn, a full-time loan officer, full-time mom, and 100% committed to her clients, is passionate about being a part of your story. Each potential homeowner has a unique story, and the Ashlynn Kelso team is here to help you write yours. It's their commitment, their dedication that sets them apart in the world of home loans. Explore more at AshlynKelsoTeam.com and begin your journey towards home ownership. That's AshlynKelsoTeam.com, NMLS number 1074888.
And after the visit to the circle, Coach Hall comes over and talks to the home plate umpire, and they will issue a free pass to Ava Brown and take the bat out of her hands. And that'll make every base a force out on the infield, and that'll bring up Madeline Davis. She's 1 for 2 in the ball game. Singled back in the second inning. Was caught stealing, trying to steal third base. And now a runner comes in here for the Lady Lions. That'll be number 18, Abigail Estee, to run for Ava Brown. So Madeline Davis singled and got to second base on an error in the second inning. Was thrown out at third base trying to steal. Struck out looking in the fourth and walked and left stranded at first base in the sixth inning. She'll step in here with 2 outs and runners on first and second. Krager gets the sign and comes set. The first pitch to Davis. It's in there for a called strike. No balls, 1 strike to count to Madeline Davis. Davis, the freshman second baseman. Easy for you to say. Davis, the freshman second baseman, steps back in from the left side. Krager gets the sign. The 0-1 pitch. Misses just low for ball 1. 1-1 to count. Coach Raczynski. A lot of movement down in the third base box, chattering with the umpires. And now Krager delivers the 1-1 pitch. Foul ball down the third baseline. Hartley snags it, but it was foul. So now a 1-2 count to Madeline Davis. Great job by Hartley there. Just to be that close to the line. If that one's in fair territory, she fields it, steps on the bag, and we're out of the inning. So we'll set it. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Madeline Davis with 2 outs. Runners on first and second for the Lions. Krager gets the sign, the 1-2 pitch. Line drive. I'm going to say it hit the turf. So a foul ball there. Davis fouled it off down the third base line. Hartley fielded it. Looked like a line drive. We lost view of it out behind the pillar that holds up the awning. So Davis stays alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Both crowds getting into this one. The winning run for the Lions is out at second base. Krager gets the sign. The 1-2 pitch to Davis. Sends it down the left field line, and it's fair. And now will score the winning run from second base. It didn't even hit her glove. It should have been a foul ball. And now Coach Hall is not going to be happy with that. She's going to come out and talk to it. If the line drive hit by Davis, if they say it hit Hartley's glove, it was in fair territory. It's a fair ball. If it didn't hit Hartley's glove, it's a foul ball. And they are saying it's fair, and Lake Creek scores the winning run from second base. And they walk it off here in the bottom of the 8th with a 1-0 win here in game number 1. Maddie McKee comes around to score on that base hit by Madeline Davis. She singles in the game-winning run, and now there's going to be a discussion before the handshake. The umpires are going to come over here to chat. And nope, it looks like they're just gathering and they're going to leave the field. So the ball game is going to end on a questionable call down the third base line. And so if it hit Maddie Hartley's glove, it's a fair ball. It did not look like it hit it. She was to the left side of the pole that I could see around, and it landed foul, but they say it went off her glove in fair territory. It's a fair ball. And Lake Creek scores from second base. The winning run to win it 2-1 over the Georgetown Eagles. So the best of three series, game number one, goes the way of Lake Creek, 2-1 in extra innings. In 8 innings, so Georgetown will come back in game number 2 tomorrow night. And a must-win situation at 6 p.m. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, wrap it up here on SHN.
I'll never forget the day I decided to go out for the football team. Mr. Banks, the JV football coach and my history teacher, asked me to stay after class. I thought I was in trouble. He said, "Hey, Darius, have you thought about going out for football? I think you'd be great." Fact is, I never played football. Fact is, I never had anyone tell me I'd be great at something. So, with no experience at all, I signed up. And a week later, I padded up and was running drills on the field. I never was great, but playing high school sports was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I was accepted by my teammates, and I learned that when someone believes in you, you can believe in yourself.
Encourage a student you know to take part in a high school sport. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Here at Mumford High School, game number 1 comes to an end in the bottom of the 8th. A walk-off base hit by Madeline Davis scores Maddie McKee from second base, and the Lake Creek Lady Lions win it 2-1 over the Lady Eagles of Georgetown. Ava Brown, the winner in the circle for the Lady Lions. She threw 117 pitches, gave up 5 hits, 1 run. She struck out 4, walked 4, stranded 9 Eagle runners on base in the ball game. The loss goes to Cambry Krager, and what a game she pitched. Threw 7 2/3 innings, plus she threw 106 pitches. She allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. There were 3 errors on the Lady Eagles. And the Lions left 4 runners on base. So game 1, a tough, heartbreaking loss here for the Lady Eagles. They lose it 2-1 in 8 innings. So game 2 of this best of 3 series will be tomorrow night at 6 p.m. right here from Mumford High School. Rob Hipp will be on the call for SHN. It'll be an audio-only broadcast, as the broadcast rights for this series was granted to another media provider. And so they have the video rights, so the audio only will come to you from Rob Hipp tomorrow night here on SHN. 2-1, the Lady Eagles fall to the Lake Creek Lions. The Lake Creek Lions improved to 41-0 on the year. Georgetown falls to 37-5. But game number 2, right back here at Mumford High School, 6 p.m. start. Rob will have the pregame about 5:45, so join him live here on SHN. The Lady Eagles will be the home team in game number 2, and it's a must-win. Game number 3 will be it's scheduled at 8 o'clock, but it'll be about 30 minutes after game number 2 should the Lady Eagles win game 2 and extend the series to game number 3. Thanks for joining us live here at Mumford High School on SHN. It's been a pleasure to call this one for you here on the SHN Network. A special mention, a shout-out to Oak Ridge Disciple House, Zoot Pets, Ashlynn Kelso Team Mortgage Loans, Brennan Remodeling, and D&L Printing for sponsoring Georgetown Lady Eagle Softball. For my producer and the one that really makes it all tick, my wife, Jerry Ann Harmon. I'm Wally Harmon. Thanks for joining us live here tonight from Mumford High School. The Lady Eagles fall 2-1 in 8 innings to the Lake Creek Lions. Back for game number 2 tomorrow night here in Mumford at 6 p.m. Join Rob Hipp for the call. Thanks for joining us tonight. Remember, it doesn't cost you a dime to be kind. Have a good night, everybody.